1, 2, 3, go.
Barnwood Builders demolished renovation TV show Stereotypes and constructed a home in the hearts of viewers everywhere back in 2013. Set in the rustic landscape of West Virginia, the reality TV show features Mark Bowe, whose company purchases antique barns and log cabins, along with a team that repairs the structures that have become worn out from time and disuse. Now, it's clear from the fact that there have been 15 seasons of the show that viewers can't get enough of the restoration process and the people behind it. And one of those people is Johnny Jett, a Chicago native who moved to West Virginia in his younger years to pursue his passion of cabin restoration. Although he became a fan favorite amongst the cast members for many seasons, rumors of his death began circulating on the internet several years ago. Johnny is a private man by nature, which only exacerbated the mystery and further worried viewers. An obituary was even found stating that a man named Johnny Jett had passed away, solidifying the loss of the builder in the minds of many. More information wasn't to be found, it seemed, and fans began to accept the death of a beloved member from the Barnwood Builders family. But is that really true? Well, join us today as we take a look at what really happened to Johnny Jett.
I think that he must have stacked these logs and not had a roof on it for a little while because these are actually graying a little bit.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take long, like 3 months.
Johnny Jett was born in Chicago, Illinois in 1949. His father Gene lived until his 90s and his mother Leota lived until she was 79. His brother Eugene too passed away back in 1994. Around the same time, after working as a maintenance worker for nearly 25 years, Johnny moved to West Virginia. Losing so many family members surely was a tragic experience for Johnny. What family he lost, though, he gained back in the form of friends Mark Bowe and Sherman Thompson, with whom he created antique cabins and barns in 1998. Their company preserved pioneer-era structures long before reality television had taken over nearly every TV station in America. Johnny Jett was also a Vietnam War vet and an independent artist whose works embodied surprisingly charming rustic scenes that reflected the cozy woodland world around him. Having ventured into the cabin building business and into the world as a self-made painter, he was a truly well-rounded, skilled man of his craft who had built a name for himself well before TV stardom came his way. Now, a love for cabin building brewed inside Johnny even as a little boy. He once shared in an interview that as a 10-year-old, he asked his father if a century-old barn could be taken down and put back together, to which his father answered yes. As an older man, Johnny once found an old cabin he wanted to live in, and its owner said that once the person living there either died or left, if Johnny could manage to tear it down and build it like new, he could live there, and that's exactly what he did. This is just one example of Johnny's character and the pride he has as a builder. This is also what made him such a lovable star on the show. When Johnny joined Barnwood Builders, he brought his artistry and love for machinery to the show. He became an important part of the team that included Mark Bowe, Sherman Thompson, Graham Ferguson, and Jim Rose. Initially, producers who wanted to make the show proposed a drama-fueled program with a cast that fought and argued. Mark Bowe, though, insisted on protecting his friends and rejected any kind of fabricated storylines that wouldn't reflect the reality of their work lives or their relationships. The DIY network wanted the team exactly as they were, and the rest is history. From season 3 and on, Mark Bowe was a producer himself and helped shape the storytelling that played out on the show, championing West Virginia and challenging the stereotype of hillbillies. The show revolved around the lives of these men as they used their skill and magic to renovate old barns for modern-day use. The show tapped into historic America, which compared to so many other countries isn't very old. However, it's uniquely American, focusing on pioneer-era structures, relics from a time many feel nostalgic for and curious about. The cast members clearly shared that same passion, putting their all into restoring the past and adapting it to the present. The cast has travelled to different locations along the eastern section of the US, delving not only in the structures and barns that need their help, but also into the history behind the location. The small group of passionate explorers would speak with local craftsmen, blacksmiths, woodworkers, and would even take a step back in time with reenactors. Clearly, the team has deep respect for their history their craft is rooted in, and the show has been able to appeal not only to renovation fanatics, but to history buffs as well. Since the very first season, Johnny Jett made appearances, displaying his excellent craftsmanship and undeniable charm. Along with his team, Johnny traveled to remote parts of West Virginia and America, turning old barns and log houses into modern, usable buildings. These scenes gave Johnny the chance to operate heavy machinery like a true master. Despite being the oldest member of the cast, he defied his age and outperformed all of them, tearing down barns, skillfully collapsing rafters, and tearing metal off roofs like it was nothing. While there is artistry in building, there's also beauty in intentional destruction in the name of progress, and Johnny was incredibly skilled at it. One great example of Johnny's abilities was his graceful destruction of a cattle barn that was beyond repair. The men salvaged the wood that they could, and then it was Johnny's turn to do what he did best: use heavy machinery to bring a structure down and have fun while doing it. After falling in love with this fun-loving, machine-driving, self-proclaimed hillbilly, it's no wonder fans worried when rumors began to circulate about his death. To lose such a vital character in the show would likely feel personal to many, as they come to love watching his friendly, laid-back confidence and easygoing demeanor during the episodes. There are plenty who would likely cease to watch the show altogether, knowing Johnny was never to appear in an episode again. But fret not, Jett fans, Johnny Jett is indeed still on this mortal plane. Another Johnny Jett of the same name, however, is not, which was the cause of our beloved Barnwood Builders star to become the victim of a celebrity death hoax. An obituary for the unlucky Johnny Jett hit the internet, and rumors of the Barnwood Builders Johnny Jett's death swelled and grew. The truth came to light though, and we now know that the beloved Johnny is still alive and, despite his age, still building. In fact, the 74-year-old is more productive and hardworking than plenty of younger people and shows no signs of slowing down. Along with his work on the show, Johnny continues to sell his rustic, charming art online, which fans can't get enough of. With a net worth estimated at $400,000, Johnny is living his best life. He continues to live with his wife Donna, but little is known beyond that about their private lives. Knowing how private Johnny is though, this doesn't come as a surprise to most. Johnny still continues to make appearances on Barnwood Builders, which just recently aired its 15th season. Over the years, Mark Bowe, Johnny Jett and their team have changed the stereotype of hillbillies. They've advocated for the term, expressing that a hillbilly is someone with grit, determination and an unshakable work ethic. The team continues to travel around Eastern America in search for structures that need renovations or to be torn down. And who is the perfect man for the job? No one but Johnny Jett and his skillful maneuvering could get it done exactly the way it needs to be. He continues to work hard and be captivated by the immaculate craftsmanship and artifacts he finds. Johnny feels that through playing his role in preserving these things, he's become a part of their ongoing story. Johnny has made his mark in reality TV and in the restoration world. He's become the easygoing demolition man who gets the job done. The show wouldn't be the same without him, and the fan base breathed a collective sigh of relief when the rumors of his death ended up being a hoax. The producers and castmates will more than likely welcome Johnny onto the show as long as there's a show to be made. And as long as there's renovation to be done, there'll always be a show. In Johnny's words, "We just love saving the history and making a living. If you can make a living and love what you're doing better than most people." So when he reflects on the fame he's found late in life, Johnny is baffled. His explanation is, "I'm just a regular guy that God has taken a liking to."